Welcome to episode 69 of the EQ for Entrepreneurs podcast. We have an awesome episode for you today for two reasons. Number one, we're sharing the interview that Noble did with John Lee Dumas from Entrepreneurs on Fire podcast. He's like huge, and I'm going to introduce him in just a minute. The second reason that I'm so hyped is that by the way, I just said hyped. My daughter thinks it's horrific when I say things like hyped or dope. She says it's incredibly uncool of me to say it and it doesn't sound right. So maybe it's true. I don't know. I say it anyways, but she's almost a teenager. So isn't it our job to embarrass her at this stage of life? We're doing our best. Anyways, the second reason I'm so excited is that we just opened the doors to our new course, EQ Accelerator. Happy dance. We have had people on our wait list for months waiting for this course to come out, and it's finally ready, and the doors open today. It opened today. So real quickly, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about that, and then we'll get into the interview. What is EQ Accelerator? So it's an online course to help you fast track your emotional and social intelligence in just 8 weeks so that you can become an emotionally healthy and relationally strong leader and unlock the next level of growth in the business that you're building, right? You already have an amazing business. You just need to go to the next level so you can take your business to the next level. And that's what this course is designed to help you do. See, the problem in the entrepreneur world is not lack of how-to information, right? There is an overwhelming amount of that. There's tons of that available for free. It's not lack of a work ethic, right? Entrepreneurs are some of the hardest working people, most passionate people that we know. And I would even venture to say it's not lack of mindset or personal growth. Again, personal growth and motivational podcasts, audios, and books are everywhere. You probably have at least a handful that you follow and listen to on a regular basis. And all those are great. But here's the thing. It's just not enough. It's not enough. Just the fact that you're listening to this podcast tells me several things. It tells me that you're a leader who's committed to making a difference in other people's lives. It tells me that you've invested in your business and in your team. You have a great product or service that people already want, and you've already been working on your mindset. We know that about you, and that has already gotten you so far in life, which is incredible. But the other thing we know is that you're humble enough to know that there's another transformation you need to make in order to achieve the next level of success, right? All smart entrepreneurs know this. So if you are an entrepreneur who's ready to scale your business while still being able to actually live the life that you're working so hard to create, if you're a small business owner who has a heart for people and you want to connect more so that you can serve better, or maybe you're a leader within an organization and you want to evolve the company's EQ so that your teams are healthier and more productive, then here's the thing. We know that you already know this. The most important asset in your business is you. It's you, right? And we just want to tell you you're in the right place. So stick around after the interview because I'm going to tell you exactly how EQ Accelerator will give you the skills, the breakthroughs, and the unparalleled support on your journey to becoming an emotionally confident and intelligent entrepreneur. And to do it, I am going to give you the worst sales pitch ever. Seriously, not joking. I'm going to give you the worst sales pitch ever. So stick around after the interview to hear it. So, and if you want, you can go check out the details on eqforentrepreneurs.com/EQA. And the link will also be in the show notes. So, okay, let's get to today's interview. Noble got to interview John Lee Dumas. John Lee Dumas is the host of Entrepreneurs on Fire podcast, an award-winning podcast where he interviews inspiring entrepreneurs who are truly on fire. And right at the beginning of the interview, you'll hear why he says that taking care of our emotional health is essential to becoming a successful entrepreneur. With over 2,500 episodes, 1 million plus listens a month, y'all hear that? That's a lot. And 7 figures of annual revenue, John Lee Dumas is just getting started. So find out more about him by visiting eofire.com to set your entrepreneurial journey on fire. Here's the interview.
Welcome to the EQ for Entrepreneurs podcast. Like most business owners, you already know you need good business and marketing strategies to scale and be profitable. But at some point, you've hit the dreaded wall where you feel stuck and frustrated. EQ for Entrepreneurs is for business owners and leaders who are honest enough to admit that they just might be the ones holding their business back and are brave enough to change that.
We're Noble and Kathy, and every week we're having candid conversations about all things emotional intelligence and how growing that has allowed us to get out of our own way and is radically transforming both our businesses and our personal lives. This is the secret sauce strategy for modern entrepreneurs who are tired of hustling without seeing results and want to grow a business and a life that they love.
What is happening?
John Lee Dumas! Oh my goodness, man! This is crazy!
All Dallas, good to be here, brother.
Thank you so much for doing this. I am a monster fan. Been listening to you for years. Totally appreciate you. Fire Nation, really appreciate you, John Lee Dumas.
Well, listen, I received that, brother. I'm excited to chat today. We're going to drop some value bombs.
Yes, awesome. That's right. Okay, so I know I'm supposed to jump right into it because your time is limited here. So of all the entrepreneur interviews you have done over the years, how important do you feel it is to be an emotionally healthy entrepreneur?
It's everything. Listen, I mean, burnout's a real thing for entrepreneurs. There's very few entrepreneurs who haven't at least approached burnout at some point in their career, while many have actually fallen over the edge. And it's all about balance. Like, are you getting enough sleep every night? Are you putting the right foods in your body? Are you actually exercising on a daily basis? These are things that if you want to be around for 5, 10, 20 plus years, you need to be doing. It's not all about just sitting in a dark cave and grinding, because you're going to lose a lot of the emotional stability that you need to keep doing it day in and day out, especially with things that we do where we actually have to bring energy, bring enthusiasm, bring fire. And all of that stuff is not possible if you don't focus on the emotional side of your well-being.
Love it. Do you have any personal emotional growth hacks that you have embraced for your own life?
Listen, the biggest thing is sleep. So many people think that an entrepreneur can get by with 4, 5, 6 hours of sleep. They're lying to themselves. They're lying to you, and they might not know any better, but they're lying to themselves as well. The human being needs a minimum of 7 quality hours a night. If you can get 8, all the better. If you can go over 8, get there. That's one of my big focuses right now. Like, I have a cold, dark room. I'm going to bed between 9 and 9:30 every single night with a goal to fall asleep before 10 o'clock because I know my quality deep sleep is happening before midnight. You know, I am doing all the things to make sure that I am getting that full restorative night's sleep because that helps so much mentally. It helps so much with your energy, restorative, all these different things. The only time I wear any jewelry in my life is at night. It's called the Aura Ring. It goes right over my finger. And so every morning when I wake up, I open up my app right on my phone here, and I check my Aura Ring sleep score to see how is my sleep quality. And honestly, I can tell you how good my day is going to be by my sleep score, period, end of story.
Wow, that's awesome. Do you feel there's a correlation between emotional health and success as an entrepreneur?
1,000%. You know, everything that I just shared and then some. If you don't have emotional health, you are not going to have success as an entrepreneur. You may have short-term spurts of success, but nothing with any kind of longevity. So you need to be focused on the emotional health. That EQ, that emotional quotient, needs to be high if you are going to have longevity success in your life and business.
At what point in an entrepreneur's journey do you feel, again, based on the thousands of interviews that you've done, an entrepreneur tends to struggle the most?
So an entrepreneur struggles the most when they don't balance business, health, and relationships. And guess what? It's not super simple to balance those 3 things. You have maybe kids that want your attention and time, loved ones, family. You have your own personal health that you have to be focused on. As far as getting into the gym, I have a infrared sauna that I want to be using every single day if possible. I'm doing yoga every day to stay mobile and flexible and stretch. And then, of course, the business side of things takes time, energy, and effort. So, so many people are having one of those three things. And for entrepreneurs, it's usually the business taking up way too big of a percentage. There needs to be a balance. And I'm not saying it's 33%, but it needs to be something along the lines of 60%, 20%, 20%. And you need to adjust based off of that. If you're saying, you know what, I'm just not getting enough time with my family, I'm going to bump that up to 25 or to 30%. But where are you going to take from? Hopefully you're going to be taking from the business side of things, because you can't have any of those things too low. Otherwise, your emotional health is going to go through the floor.
Love it. That's great. Love even that percentage spread. Do you have any suggestions or recommendations that can help monitor that or balance that? Because again, like you said, it's so easy for that 60% to go into 80% and then 90%, and then pretty soon happen to me, total burnout. Do you have any balance, I guess, hacks to keep those percentages aligned?
So this isn't a hack. This is just real life. You've got to talk to people. You've got to talk to your significant other. You've got to talk to your family. You've got to talk to your kids. You've got to look in the mirror and you've got to talk to yourself. You got to say, hey, I have my shirt off right now. How do I look in the mirror? Am I fat? Like, do I have a beer gut? Do I have love handles? That's not healthy. You are going to die at a younger age as a result of being fat. So talk to yourself, talk to your loved ones, and also talk to yourself about your business, saying, hey, am I losing the joy in my business? Am I losing the enthusiasm because all I'm doing is just grinding? Or am I taking some time to rest and to recoup so when I come back fresh, I'm excited to tackle my business challenges once again? These are questions you have to be asking yourself.
Love that. What was the most challenging aspect of emotional intelligence and emotional health for you personally as an entrepreneur? What was the toughest aspect for you?
It was health, because, I was in a relationship with Kate, and I still am to this day. And, the reality is that we worked together and lived together. So we always were really good about communicating and spending a lot of quality time together. And then I was spending a lot of time on the business, but where I was dropping off at was the health. And this was not just for a couple months, this was for a couple years. And, I really saw my energy dropping. I wasn't prioritizing sleep. I wasn't prioritizing fitness. I wasn't prioritizing nutrition. So I had to really take some things away, specifically from the business, percentage, and up my health percentage side of things. Like, that was just a decision I had to make back in 2016. And for the past 4 years, I can honestly say that, health is as big of a priority as my business, if not even bigger.
Wow, that's excellent. What are some practical resources that have really been beneficial to you? You mentioned the Oura Ring. Are there other resources or even books or podcasts that you would recommend that have been really impactful for you?
Number one, you've got to have things in place to hold you accountable. So I have a virtual trainer that every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so 3 days per week, I am in my gym on a Zoom call with him. And I know that I'm going to get a killer, awesome workout. And he's going to hold me accountable to that. Like, if I miss, a couple workouts in a row, like, he's getting on my case because he knows I can't afford to do that for long extended periods of time. As far as like a specific resource that I love, I'm a huge fan of Dr. Stephen Cabral. He has a podcast called The Cabral Concept, and it's all about health. And what I love about it is it's about mental and physical. So he covers like the whole spectrum. He has a book called The Rain Barrel Effect. And this book really does a great job covering all the bases when it comes to your overall health. So The Cabral Concept for the podcast and The Rain Barrel Effect for the book.
That's excellent. What's the biggest thing that you have learned about yourself as an entrepreneur?
That I don't want or need to become the next Jeff Bezos or the next Mark Zuckerberg. Like, I'm really satisfied and happy, netting a couple $1 million a year, not working myself to the bone, working hard, but very efficiently and effectively. And not having to have the stress or anxiety to go to 8 figures, to 9 figures, to build out this massive team, to have these huge operating and advertising costs. And again, that's me. That's what I've come to learn about myself. I don't want nor need that, because I know that would take away from one of the things that's most important to me, which is health, and really dialing in that side of my life. For some people, they want that, they need that, and that's great. They should go and get that. But what's important is that I know what I want. And that's one thing that people should really be honest with themselves is, what are you trying to build?
Love that. Thank you for sharing that. Are there any particular questions that you find yourself asking yourself on a regular basis, again, to kind of be a guideline or azimuth check to keep yourself on track? You mentioned a few earlier. Are there any additional ones that you would add to that?
The question that I ask myself many, many times throughout the day is, how are my energy levels right now? Like, how do I feel at 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 5 p.m., 9 p.m.? Like, I'm always aware and cognizant of my current energy levels, because that tells you a lot about your body. If, I'm feeling kind of down, midday, there's a reason for that. Like, I wasn't getting enough sleep. I'm not eating a high enough quality foods. I'm not putting in the exercise that I need to be putting in. So my body's a fully functioning machine. And so that's things that I'm always asking myself. Energy levels, where are they at?
Love it. What brings you the most joy as an entrepreneur?
As an entrepreneur, I would say the ripple effect. And what I mean by that is, when you create content that helps somebody, that solves a problem, that eases a struggle, you're going to inspire that person to go off and do something amazing on their own. And then that individual is going to maybe create a podcast like you have, or a YouTube show, or a piece of software, or an app, or a product, or a book. And that piece of content is now going to help somebody else. And what I mean by that is, I had maybe a direct impact in that first point of contact, but then that second, third, fourth, fifth degree of separation, I had nothing direct with that. That was all as a result of the ripple effect that I started. And now doing a podcast for 8 years, I know my ripple effect has been, pretty substantial. And that's just something that I'm really excited about and really fires me up.
What is your current vision, goal? What's next for John Lee Dumas?
What's next is to get into optimal health, because listen, financially, I've done it, and things could change. Believe me, the dollar could crash to zero, and, super inflation could happen. And I'm very aware that, there's could be a big reset button at any point in time for any number of reasons. So I'm aware of that. But until then, I've done what I needed to do financially. Now I want to do what I can do to get into as good of health shape as I am financial shape. That's where my head's at right now.
That's awesome. Last question. Any final advice for those entrepreneurs that are really pushing hard in the grind that would, that you'd like to share with them?
I want to say this. Try not to become a person of success, but rather a person of value. That's an Albert Einstein quote. It is so true. When I adopted that actual quote and I started only becoming a person of value and just giving value, everything changed for me. And so how can you do that in your life?
Awesome. Thank you so much, John Lee Dumas. I totally appreciate your time. Thank you for, just all that you've been a value adder, combat multiplier in my life over the years, and really appreciate you taking the time with me today.
Awesome. Hey, it was great hanging out. Love your energy. Love what you're doing. Take care, brother, and I'll catch you on the flip side.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
What I found fascinating about this interview was how this super successful guy who's interviewed literally thousands of other entrepreneurs, he boils down success to things that all fall under the umbrella of emotional intelligence. It's how to avoid burnout. It's how you set proper boundaries and keep yourself healthy. In fact, he says a high EQ is essential if you want to have any kind of long-term success. And that's exactly what we have found. We have built a very successful business in our 20s, but we had a very low EQ. And I'm just telling you, life with low EQ is painful, both for you and for the people around you. and it limits what you can do in your business. So if you're feeling like you're stuck at a certain income level and you want to bust through that ceiling to the next level, we can help. Or if your business is currently doing well and you want to up level yourself so that you can play a bigger game, you'll see how EQ Accelerator can get you there easier and faster. And the bottom line is this: if you're ready to get real with yourself and grow you so you can become the person that you need to be to play a bigger game, EQ Accelerator is exactly what you need to get there. But more importantly, it's exactly what you need to get there with a lot more ease. And it's all because of the blueprint that we've developed behind EQ Accelerator. Okay, get ready. Here comes the part with the worst sales pitch ever. And I'm saying this as somebody who really likes sales. I do. I know that kind of makes me a little bit of a unicorn because so many people are so afraid of selling, but that's not me. I enjoy it and I'm actually really good at it. I like selling. So, but the thing that I don't like is manipulation. And something that we've learned in our EQ growth journey is to recognize the difference between manipulation and ethical sales, because a lot of the sales that are happening out there are borderline manipulative. I probably need to do an episode on that one day and just fill you guys in and tell you so that you start to recognize it. But okay, so without all the high pressure sales techniques, here's my quote unquote terrible sales pitch. This course is the best way to grow your emotional intelligence, and we will walk you through how to do it in a super effective way, and we would love to have you join us. Go to eqforentrepreneurs.com/EQA to sign up. Boom! There you have it, my terrible sales pitch. I didn't do anything fancy. I just told you what it is, how it's going to help you, and told you where to get it. That's it. Okay, so I'm kind of having a little bit of fun, but I want to prove a point because again, when you have a strong EQ, you will not, it makes it very hard for somebody to manipulate you. And when you do that, you start to realize, okay, wow, so many of these sales tactics are borderline manipulative. And when I say borderline, what that means is it all depends on the person who's using the tactic. Okay, it can be used, these tactics can be used in very ethical ways, but they can also be misused for the purposes of just getting sales. And if you don't know that, you could be totally, you could fall victim to them. Not necessarily victim in a bad way, but victim just in a way that you could wind up with stuff you don't need because you got it for reasons that were emotional and you got played, basically. Bottom line, right? We get played when those things happen. And so when you recognize them, you can learn how to make better decisions. Okay, but I know most of you, if you're thinking about taking the EQ Accelerator course, you're going to want some more information. So I'll dive into that. But before we get to the details, I want us to take a little step back. In order to bust through the ceiling to go to the next level, you've got to understand where you're working from. So what is it about feeling like you're stuck at your current income level or your current level of growth that has you wanting more, right? Why do you want more? And most importantly, why haven't you been able to make the progress that you know you're capable of making? Here's the deal. Old emotional habits keep people from getting what they want more than anything else, right? These old emotional habits will keep you stuck. I'm going to say it again. I want you guys to hear this. Old emotional habits keep you from getting what you want more than anything else. And that's why it's so important to do this work, because they will keep you stuck. And the problem is it all happens on a subconscious level. There's this whole subconscious sabotage thing that's happening, and it keeps happening over and over again as a result of these old emotional habits. And when you don't realize that and you don't know what's happening, you just keep tumbling in the same spiral, and you look at other people and you wonder, why are they so successful and I'm not? Why are they having this success? I'm doing the same thing as them. Here's the thing: growing a business can be tough, right? If you're an entrepreneur, you know that this isn't like easy street. But what's worse are the negative thoughts and the doubts that come creeping in. And if you've ever asked yourself, am I good enough? Or maybe there's just something wrong with me, you need to know you're not alone. It's okay. It's totally normal. We've all done it. And to be honest, a lot of successful entrepreneurs have had and continue to have these same thoughts. In fact, so did I. We've shared a lot of our journey with you guys. You listen to our podcast, but I remember laying awake at night with this thought screaming in my head. I am doing everything they're telling me I should do. Why isn't it happening? Why isn't it happening? I'm doing all the right things. I've got the techniques. I know the tactics. I know how to sell, blah, blah, blah. And telling me to just keep doing more, just keep doing what you're doing, that was not helpful to me. So we were reading all the books. We were taking all the right action steps. We were learning all the things, but it felt like we were going backwards on one of those moving sidewalks they have at airports. Anybody ever done that where you kind of walk the wrong way? It's a lot of action, but you don't actually get anywhere. That's what we felt like. And it wasn't until years after spinning our wheels that we found emotional intelligence and changed everything. So here's the good news. If you're feeling this way, it's actually a good thing. Sometimes pain and frustration are gifts. They are gifts. They're gifts that you never knew you wanted. And the reason they're gifts is because they make you look for new answers. You have all the strength that you need. You have all the energy you need. You just need to harness it and use it in a new and better way, right? And we're going to show you in just a minute exactly what that looks like. Now, hear me well. This journey to growing your emotional intelligence is not necessarily going to go easy because remember, the old emotional habits are not easy to change. No old habit is easy to change. But what's available to you right now is the absolute best time to make it happen because of this EQ Accelerator course. In fact, this is a critical time to make it happen. With everything that's hit us during 2020, the ability to handle change, your ability to manage stress, your ability to build meaningful relationships and make people feel heard is more important than ever. You guys, this is vital for 2020 and I would say the next decade. Who knows? We'll see where that all pans out, but it is vital to know right now. Like this is the number one skill. I keep seeing article after article coming out of why emotional intelligence is the skill that's needed right now. And it allows you to have a business that impacts lives, but still allows you to create and actually enjoy this life that you're building, right? And how will that feel? How does that feel to be able to have, I've always called it, I wanted to have the best of both worlds. I didn't want to have to choose the whole, do you want to have your cake or eat it too? Well, no, I want both. I want to have my cake and I want to eat it and let me enjoy my cake, right? So I want to not only have a business that makes a great impact, but I also want to live a life that I love. I didn't want to be burnt out. I didn't want every waking minute to be consumed by my business. I didn't want to be doing things I hated constantly, right? Yeah, I want to have my life and I want to have my cake and eat it too. So for us, it was so valuable to learn these skills of emotional intelligence because it allowed us to break those old emotional habits and create new healthy ones. So this is the opportunity you have today. And it's why we are so passionate about emotional and social intelligence. And it's why we created the EQ Accelerator course. So if you're feeling like you should be having more success and you aren't sure why you're not, in spite of having and doing all the right things in place for your business, or if your business is doing well currently and you want to up level you so that you can play a bigger game, EQ Accelerator is the course for you. So I want to take a minute and walk you through what's included in EQ Accelerator and how it's going to help you bust through that ceiling and get to the next level easier and faster. Okay, so a few details. EQ Accelerator is an 8-week program that was specifically designed for entrepreneurs to fit into your already full life. We know you're working on all the things. We know you're working on your marketing and adding more people to your list, and you're working on selling, and you're working on your products, and we know all that. We know you're busy. So this was created specifically for you in mind. So don't worry, it's not going to take over your life, but it is structured to help break things down into a step-by-step plan and to show you exactly what to focus on to make big strides in your emotional intelligence quickly. Okay, so it's broken down into 4 modules, and you'll get 1 new module every 2 weeks for a total of 8 weeks. During that time, you are going to learn what emotional and social intelligence is. And we're also going to walk you through very specific, powerful exercises so you can fast track your EQ growth. And here's a little secret. The exercises are the secret, okay? That's how you get the transformation. All right, so let me just show you quickly what's in EQ Accelerator. Module 1 is all about self-awareness. Oh yeah, get ready to gain massive insights into knowing and understanding you. This module is all about you. You're going to walk through a series of exercises that will help you see yourself in a new and clearer way. This self-awareness opens the door for all future growth. And in fact, if you guys have been listening to the podcast, you know the statistics of people who are able to accurately identify their own emotions in the moment as they're happening is very, very low. Like it's less than 40%. So you're going to learn how to do that in Module 1. Module 2 then dives into self-management. So self-management is the ability to keep disruptive emotions and impulses in check. So now that you have awareness of your feelings and emotions, you'll learn some powerful techniques to harness those emotions to work in your favor and to change how you're going to behave when they don't. This is good stuff, you guys. Okay, module 3 is all on social awareness. Okay, so here you'll start to get insight to the people around you that you didn't have before. You're going to learn to use this insight to make them feel seen and heard and to deepen the connection you have with them. This is the start to a full and meaningful life, deep, close connections with other people. All right, and then module 4 is where everything starts to come together and where you're starting to change your interactions with people. Social management is the combination of all of the skills of self-awareness, self-management, and social awareness. It brings them all together to now create strong, deep, mutually satisfying relationships with the people you love and the people you serve in your business. Okay, so you may be wondering, well, how is EQ Accelerator delivered? Simply, it's an online digital course. So as soon as you register for EQ Accelerator, you're going to get access to the private members area where you'll immediately get started with the growth track overview module. And then starting on next Monday, each module is going to be delivered to you. You'll get a new module every 2 weeks. And that allows you for 1 week to kind of take in all the information and another week for implementation and to use the course workbook to really go through these exercises. So we make it very easy to fit into a busy schedule. You'll probably spend about 2 to 3 hours a week total working through the information and working on your transformation. In addition, we will be hosting live weekly group coaching events via Zoom. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in just a minute. So in total, the 4 modules, you're going to get 50 plus bite-sized lessons designed to be easy to fit into your life while still providing you exactly what you need to know to get the transformation that you're after. You're also going to get a robust downloadable workbook. This is your comprehensive guide with powerful exercises designed to implement everything you're learning about EQ. And we will take you through our step-by-step process to grow your EQ. There's no guessing about what you need to be working on or what order you need to do it in. We lay it out in a step-by-step blueprint so that you can get the results you're after. And the good news is you'll have access to the material for the lifetime of the product. So don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to go through it and get everything you need. So you'll be able to reference it whenever you need, as many times as you would like. And we're going to fully support you. So I mentioned we're going to be doing live weekly group coaching events and question and answer. We're going live every week to make sure that you are successfully implementing everything that you're learning and to be sure that you're never stuck on your EQ growth journey. In these live sessions, we're going to dive deeper into the subject of each module. We're going to answer your specific questions so you can make real progress. And you're also going to benefit from hearing other people's journeys, from hearing the questions that they're asking and the answers that they're getting and the breakthroughs that they're seeing in their lives. Now, here's one of the parts that I'm excited about. We are also offering a VIP experience. So if you're really serious about up-leveling your emotional intelligence, the VIP experience is for you. In the VIP experience, you'll not only get the EQ Accelerator course and the weekly live coaching, but you'll also get to take the what's called the SEIP. That stands for Social and Emotional Intelligence Profile. It is the most comprehensive assessment on the market. You'll actually get to take an EQ assessment. And this assessment is pretty amazing. It measures 26 different areas of both social and emotional intelligence. And it sends you a customized report with all of your results. So you can discover which areas you're already strong in and which areas you have the biggest opportunity for growth. So in the VIP experience, not only do you get the assessment, but you also get 2 hours of one-on-one coaching with Noble and I to go over and review your assessment and create a personalized plan for you to grow your social and emotional intelligence. 2 hours with us. And then you'll get to take the assessment again at the end of the course to see how you've grown. How cool is that? So we only have 8 VIP slots available. So if you're serious about growing your EQ and you would like access to that assessment and one-on-one coaching, you'll definitely want to sign up right away before these slots are filled. Because I have a feeling they're going to go fast. We're only doing 8. So you may be wondering, is EQ Accelerator right for me? Okay, good question. Know this. The people who get the biggest benefit from EQ Accelerator are those who realize that they are the greatest asset in their business. And they have a heart for people and they want to connect on a deeper level. And they aren't afraid to be a little uncomfortable so that they can become a person who's able to smash through those limits and impact on a bigger scale. The people who won't do well with this material are people who are just kind of interested or kind of want to check things out, right? No, if that's you, if you're not really serious, if you're not really committed to a transformation, don't bother. I'm not going to try to. So if that's you and you're not really committed to destroying those old emotional habits, or if you're not willing to really put in the work, don't bother. I'm not going to try to sell this to you. You're not going to get the transformation, and that makes all of us look bad, right? So we really are only wanting people who are serious about changing themselves and changing their life and making a real transformation. Because here's the deal. If you're not willing to do the work, yeah, you'll get some good info just watching our video lessons. But if you don't dive into the workbook and start working on you won't see the transformation that you're after, right? So EQ Accelerator is for people who are committed to doing what it takes to work on themselves in a new way, in a new and different way. I promise this is not the same old personal development you're used to. This is very different. So if the intention and right attitude isn't there, this isn't the program for you. Speaking of intention, we intentionally included 100% money back guarantee. We know this program gets results, but I also know that there's a lot of too good to be true, fly-by-night promotions online. So you really want to carefully choose where you get your information from and where you learn from. So that's why we've included this guarantee, right? Try EQ Accelerator. If it's not everything we say it is, and you don't feel like we've delivered, you have 14 days to ask for a refund. So here's the question I want you to think about. What would it cost you if you did nothing? What would it cost you if you don't grow yourself at all in this new way? Of course, you would obviously save the money by not buying the course, but I'm talking about opportunity costs. What's it going to cost you by not leveling yourself up? What's it going to cost you by not becoming the person that you can and should be by getting rid of these old emotional habits? We think you deserve to take the easiest and the fastest route to becoming emotionally healthy, and we believe the best way to get there is with EQ Accelerator. So the investment is $497 for the course or $797 for the VIP experience. And we do have a payment plan if that fits your budget better. And here's the deal. To make the progress you want in your life and in your business, you've got to break those old emotional habits. And the way you're going to do that is by investing in this program. It is the best. And honestly, it's the only way that I have seen that entrepreneurs to learn in an environment specifically designed for them to grow their EQ. We'll walk you through the entire process step by step. And if you follow what we'll show you, you will make progress. We'll walk you through the entire process step by step. And if you follow what we'll teach, you will make progress. And that's why we have that guarantee. So the registration period is going to be closing midnight on Thursday, September 24th, and it will not open again until next year, till 2021. So we do this so that we can cater to the new members coming through. It's kind of like a college class, right? Once the registration period is complete, everyone begins class together, and we make ourselves available to support you, specifically in that course. If it was open all the time, we would get confusing and complicated just trying to support people who are all going through at different parts of the program. So this keeps it simpler, and we feel like we get better results for our students by doing this. So deadline to register is midnight on Thursday, September 24th. And as you're looking to make your decision on this, just know this: life is an ongoing competition for your time and your attention. And it's a competition that we rarely win, quite frankly. We all know this, especially this with the crazy year that we've had with 2020. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can come out of 2020 having made it an incredible year. You can. The year is not over yet. The year is not over yet. There are still 3 months left. All it takes is 8 weeks to have a transformation that is going to affect every area of your life. By making your growth a top priority and having what you need to make these new dreams a reality, you can interrupt the pattern and get where it is that you want to go. So just ask yourself, what is important in your life right now? Like, all of us are having to just reevaluate everything, I feel like. What's important right now? What do you want to achieve in the months ahead? Where would you like to be come January 2021? Who would you like to be in January 2021? How long have you waited to have this breakthrough to get to the next level? You don't need to keep waiting. You can make it happen. You have an opportunity to do something about it right now, today. So join us and register for EQ Accelerator. Just go to eqforentrepreneurs.com/EQA to get started, and we'll see you inside.